one second. If you are an administrator of some other company, the same problem might come with some other end users of Salesforce organization in your company. Now what you do is generally you just go to users, click on this, and there's a login history here. Click on this. If you click on this login history, I can see each and every person's login history here. And there's one more option. Generally, if you have a problem, you're just emailing me, right? Then what I do is I'll
Yes.
go to your user, click here. Your username is around Rao, right? Okay, yeah. Here is your you, here is your account. I'm clicking on
Okay.
your account, on your user account. So if I'm clicking on
Okay.
your user, I see your user details as well as your login history also at the bottom. Your
Okay.
login history, you tried to log in on this following date on July 4th, 9:32
Okay.
to IST. It's Indian Standard Time, so you just it's opposite time actually for us from this IP address, and it's success. It's showing success here, and you haven't tried to log in after the time.
After that I cannot access.
Okay,
What should be my
okay, but the problem is you haven't tried logging to this organization. If you are putting the proper username, you will obviously log into this. I think your username is this
yes.
dot training. Have you added this?
Yeah, yes, bro. I am trying with that only.
Can you do it now for me again from login.salesforce.com and put this email address and your password? Because even though if you enter wrong password also, I can see the login history here. I can show you what
Okay.
happened. Okay, let's do it one more time.
Okay, bro.
Yeah, you can do it now. So I'll,
Okay.
if you come here, I can even see my total, all the organization login history. So it's here. I have logged in today, 872014 uh, AM. Like this is IST. Let's change the
I
time of
tried,
this.
bro.
You've logged in?
Yes, I tried, but it's not accessing it.
Yeah, sure. I'm refreshing the things. Now let's see what's happened to your user account. Yeah, invalid
Yes.
password. The problem is invalid password. You entered wrong password.
Maybe
Do you want me to reset your
something.
password? Have you
Yes,
forgotten?
bro.
Yeah, if you want to reset it as your administrator, I can reset your password. All the people in the organization is administrators. I have made them as administrators. Here is the
Okay.
option to reset. Now you'll
Okay.
get a new mail saying please set your new password. So this is how you generally gonna help the people who are forgetting their passwords, who have problem with logins and stuff. For suppose if they are saying some people will have login restrictions, you will say
Yes.
that the IP address login from this address to this address only you can accept the logins. Otherwise, you are not going to accept because the banking applications, right? What they will do, they will only allow the people to log in only in their company IP addresses. If
Okay.
they're logging from outside systems, they won't allow. That things
Okay.
also you can see what is the problem. You can see at the login page. Now you will get a new password. Even I can see your status here also in the all logins page also. See, invalid login from this IP address and the invalid password is our status. Cool. Let's today we are in last class we explained about the schema builder and the way how we are using it. Now I will try creating all the fields in one object, one sample object I'm going to take, okay, and I will do that to you guys. Okay, let's take the training object now. Training. So here I want to delete all the fields, okay, and I will start doing it from scratch because my god, what happened? Yeah, okay. So yeah, the problem while I'm deleting this is I have referenced this field in outbound messages, like I'm sending email updates to some people whenever a training is created. That's the reason I cannot remove these fields. Let's do one thing. I'm gonna create some new object. Hey, can someone recommend me some object name? What you want to track? Okay, let's start with students tab or any something like this. Okay, let's start with a new tab, a new option called restaurants. Okay. Hey, can someone can all the guys mute from your side? Rao, can you mute from your side because there's some disturbance?
Yeah,
Okay, thanks. Yeah, yeah. Let's start doing an object first, and I will explain how relationships will work. So I can show you multiple options at the same time. Here is the schema builder. If you want to create an object, okay, this is one way. I'm going to create, clicking on objects, create new custom object. This will take to this page, and here is the other option in the schema builder. You can click on elements and drag and drop this item here. Okay, it will ask the same thing here. Let's do it from here. Okay, rent restaurant, and oh, spelling, what is the spelling of restaurant? Yeah, here's the restaurant spelling. Made a mistake. Restaurants, what's the plural form of this restaurant is restaurants. So we are going to use the tab name as restaurants because there will be n number of restaurants what you have stored here, right? So I have to give the calculators first because I can see the same thing in my tabs also. If you're giving small letter, it will be this small letter even in the tabs. The object name is this, and yeah, whenever you are putting down here, it automatically copies the object name also in the same way, and even the name also, record name also, the first name will be the same. Record name, the standard field which is created automatically when we are creating object, will be copied down the label name appended with name. If I'm giving object called training, it's called training name. Okay, now it's fine. This is fine. And here's the option to select auto number and text field. Uh, okay, and I want to go with the text field only because I want to put on the text information. Have shown you how to do this auto number while we are working with student ID, right? So just select one if you whatever you need, and I would like to run reports, activities, tracking history, and I am not going to allow check this option because I'm not giving the access to customer portal users. Allow reports will automatically create record types for you for this current object in other reports folder. Allow activities will give you a related list item for this object. Allow tracking history also, it will give you a related list item for checking the field changes happened on this record. Okay, let's click on save. This is in developer mode. Deployed means perfectly working one. If you click on deploy, it will be visible to all the end users. If you are keeping in development mode, it won't be visible. Okay, and here is our restaurants tab. Let's go to the, so I'm not creating any object from here. Okay. uh, Restaurant. And what I can do, I'm going to create one more object here called customers. um, Foodies. I'm going to call this object name as foodies. I'm going to create object from here, the second object which I'm going to create. Yeah, foodie. Foodies is the plural form of this. This is the object in our Salesforce now, and the object name is foodie. Okay, and you can put down some description here. Okay, and you see there are some more options here when you are doing this stuff. When from this create object thing, the navigation for create is just click on setup. You will see the setup thing, and in the build thing, in the build, you see a create. You have to expand this, and you have to click on objects. Okay, and coming to uh, yeah, I want to give the text form. Okay, let's do the auto number form in the new object which I'm going to create for you. Cool. And here is the options which I have seen the same thing in the this new and the schema builder creation also, right? I want to click on allow reports. Yeah, that's it. I don't want to click on allow activities, all this stuff. Allow activities I want to create. I don't want to put track history, track field history. Okay, and here is the option to add notes and attachments, and option for launching a new tab also. If I click on save it, this is simply saving thing. Okay, if I click on launch new, so when I'm clicking on this option, I'm taking to the new page where I can set some tab also for this. In this option in the restaurant, there is no tab for this. I have to go back to tabs and I have to configure it. Okay, here I'm selecting the tab in the same in the same page. I'm selecting the tab also, creating the tab, and I'm default on to all profiles. Click on next. Means this tab is default available for all the people, and I'm removing the access for the custom applications. Let's do one thing. Let's give access only to eager to application. Okay, eager to app. I want to give access only to eager to app, and click on save. Now our tab will only appear in this application, eager to app only. Here is the tab foodies app, because in a single step, in a single 3-step process, I have created object as well as the tab also in the second step, and security settings I have configured. But here the same object I have created, but I have not configured tab for this. For doing that, I have to go back to one more section. Here is the option. Here is the objects, right? If you come down, there is a tabs also. I can create tabs independently for all the objects which I have created in schema builder. Here in this tool, I'll create tabs here. Okay, again, when I'm creating an object from this also, if I'm not checking the option at the last, right, it won't create tab. Okay, let's create some fields now on our custom object called foodie. Okay, this is the custom object, right? I can see the same custom object for restaurants also in this object section. All the new objects what you have created in this organization, we'll see. You can see here. Okay, let's search for res. Yeah, here is our restaurant object, and here is our foodie object, which is created from this same option only. This object we have created from schema builder. Let's do one thing. Let's create some new fields for this. Click on new. Now I'm selecting, this is the object, restaurant object, right? I want to track restaurant location. Okay, restaurant means a hotel. It will be located somewhere, right? I want to track the location by keeping this option looking. Next, and I want to even keep the field name as location. Okay, so I want to track in decimals, 8-digit decimals. And what is decimals means, it will be like for 85 point something like that. The geolocation will be stored in the decimal format. If you're keeping the degrees, minutes, seconds, this will store in different format, which is again for tracking geolocations. Okay, if you're comfortable with the degrees, you can select that also. Click on next, and visible to all users, right? Visible to all people, and adding to the page layout called restaurant layout. What is page layout generally? So what page layout is useful for configuring the user interface of your application. What is user interface? So for suppose, if you want to do some changes, what all the people can see in the front end, right? You can do all the changes with user interface thing, like that is page layouts. Okay, there's one more option called doing with coding with VF pages. That can be used only if you cannot do with page layouts. If your customer is asking some custom requirement which you cannot do with page layouts, you can go with sorry, which you cannot do with page layouts, you can go with VVF pages, Visual Force pages. That's like a HTML programming language. Okay, that's very similar to that. Okay, and I am clicking on save, means I am adding this field to the page layout, means that they can access this field. If I'm unchecking this, they won't access this field. So let's do one thing. Let's click on save. Now I have shown you how to create the location field. Let's go to the schema builder. Let's So if I click on refresh now, I see the new field in the restaurant object, even in schema builder also. Here is the location field. Have you seen this? Cool. Let's do one thing. Let's go back to elements again. Now I will put auto number. I'm not giving here. I'm giving a checkbox field. Checkbox field for the restaurant, saying restaurant. Can anyone give some requirement about this? What we use checkboxes in restaurant? AC or okay, AC or non-AC restaurant. Okay, I am putting AC. So if I check this, means it's AC restaurant. By default, this is unchecked. Click on save. See, when you are giving a hash c a by c, because hash names cannot be stored in the object names, right? And sorry, in the database you cannot store hash symbol. That is the reason it's converting that hash symbol into underscore. Even if you are giving a space symbol also, it will be converted to underscore in your Salesforce. API names and the field names will be done like this. Okay, even object names also. Click on save. AC is created. Now let's go to currency. So if you go to some restaurant applications where I can search for restaurants nearby, I can see the average cost, uh, average expenditure for a person. Okay, average per person this much expense it will take, something like this. Okay, that's the reason I'm giving here. Expense per person. Let's take like a revenue. Okay, revenue of the restaurant. I'm tracking this currency field because I have to put only currency fields like cost, revenue, like this. Okay, and I'm giving the revenue field. revenue, and I'm tracking this fields in 15 digit length and 2 digit decimals, because the revenue will be like 50,000.86. I like this. Okay, so that's the reason I'm giving 15 digit of currencies and 2 digit decimals for calculating cents. Okay, clicking on save. This is the revenue of the restaurant. I can even modify by saying revenue per month. When you are modifying the next time, you are not changing the field name. Okay, when you are first time when you are putting down, this will be changing, because for suppose you have created some object field today, today, and from today the users are using and they're putting some data into the database. What happens after 10 days? If you see, I want to change my field name, the database won't work properly because you are changing the field name. So yeah, you can change it by changing in all the locations from where all you are referencing. That is the reason it won't change this field name. First time what all you kept, it will be keeping the same thing, but the field label, this is only the front end representation will be changing. The field name will be changing. Label, okay, the label means the visual representation of the object name for the front end users. For us, okay, this will be changing, but the back end name will be like revenue only. Okay, click on save. It will save properly. Let's see, revenue per month will be seen here. Let's go back. This is a currency field. Let's go with date. What is date? Date restaurant has started. Okay, you can give like this: date restaurant started. um, a restaurant, uh, this is not the right name. Field name,
Established.
yeah, established date. Okay, perfect. Esta established date. I'm giving the simple date field to track only the date, because I cannot track date and time for this, right? I'm just tracking date here. Clicking on save. Established date and date and time. Okay, date and time field I don't need here generally, but if I pull this, it even stores the date and time also. But I can give, I can take time by putting restaurant available time by from morning 11 to evening 10 o'clock, like this. Okay, for that I have to put the time field, which is not available for us. I have only date and time field. Okay, it can store the um, current date plus time, but I want only time. That's the reason I will pick the other option. So I will show how to do that with pick list values. Okay, and I am pulling down the email address. Okay, email address, email of the restaurant. Okay, contact primary email address. Okay, clicking on save. So when I'm creating this email field, every field, right, I'll see these options called required, unique, all these options. Okay, these options is useful to make. If you want to make this field as a required field, you just keep this like required field. Okay, means whenever you're trying to insert some data to the restaurant object, it will ask email field to be entered, otherwise it won't save the record. Okay, that is the option, required option here. Click on save. So make sure that we have made email field as a required field in our system, in our restaurant object. If you are doing this, you see the red color mark next to the email field. All the other objects, established date, revenue per month, AC, location, don't have required fields because they are not that important to us. Which are important to you, make it as required fields. And now after email, I am pulling down the number for tracking the phone number. PHONE phone. Okay. Um, and it's also, I don't want to make it as required. Click on save. So let's do one thing. Let's come here. Let's click refresh here. This is the restaurant object from the objects option. Click on refresh. Now I see all the objects created in the schema builder will be seen here. This is the simple tool for creating the objects. Earlier it's not available. Recently this is created like 2 years back. Before that we used to create everything from here. There is an option called new. Okay, I have to click on new here and I have to create the field. Let's create one more field from here in this from this location. Okay, click on new. What is the next field? After number, percentage. Okay, okay. So here, if you can see this option from this objects, a new option, right? I see all this information, also the description about the fields properly in the right side, and all the data types available. Now I'm going to put on the percentage field. Here is the field I have done till number. Okay, I'm putting on the percentage field here. Now I want to give market share in this region. Okay, what is the percentage of market customers it's attracting in this region? Okay, market share or local market share. Okay, because if there are 4 restaurants, if it's a percentage of number of people coming to the restaurants. If the other restaurant is getting 5,000, other restaurant is getting 4,000, this is getting 10,000, the percentage of market share is around 40%. The other people is have 20, 15, 25 like this. Okay, that's a simple. I'm just giving on my. Okay, the market share is a percentage field which accepts. Let's give 3 digit and 2 decimals, like 48.53 percentage or like this. Okay, I can't give more than 2 also. Okay, 2, because maximum is 19 percentage. Okay, 19 100% is the max. That's the reason I can give 3. Okay, if there's no restaurant in this local region, this is having 100% share. Cool. Let's click on next. Yeah, for this, earlier in schema builder I'm just pulling the same information. It's not asking about the field level security, it's not asking about the page layouts. What all the fields what you are creating in the schema builder you have to configure manually. Again, going back to tabs you have to do this. Again, going back to page layouts you have to do this. Schema builder is really useful when you're doing it for when you're doing many fields, many objects at the same time. You can use this schema builder application. But when we are doing only 1 or 2 fields, after 5 days or 10 days, for simply customizations, add-ons, then you can just use the new field in the object menu. Okay, after doing this, click on available to all users, visible to all users. If I'm clicking on read only option, means I'm making this field read only. They cannot edit this field, they can only see this field. Okay, they cannot edit the users. I can give only some users also. I can give only means this person cross org data proxy user can only see this field but cannot modify. If I uncheck this option, he can even write the code or write the new value also in this. Let's click on next. What is the other option? Page layout. Whether to add in the layout or not, whether this field should be visible to users or not. I can set this option here. Click on save. Okay, now if you come here, our object is our object local market share is here. I will speak about book 9 underscore underscore in the later stages. Okay, you keep forgetting this API name. This is by our extension which we have configured, which is which you can see. I will show you what is the reason for adding this stuff. Let's go back to schema builder, and we have done the percentage field with local market share and phone number also. Yeah, this other phone field which we have already created. Let's do one thing. Let's create this. Let's delete this. Right click here, click on delete. We have created a number field, right? I want to remove this because I have other phone field which is easy to configure. Deleting. This is how to delete the record, delete the field. When you are using this field in any code, Apex code or VF pages, right? It won't allow you to delete the field because you are referencing this field somewhere in the coding. Okay. If you want to delete that field, you have to comment the lines of code where you have coded with this field value, and you have to remove this. And after that, you can modify your code. We are going to the new field. I am now using the phone field by pulling this. This is simply phone field where I will accept with a formatted phone number. Clicking on save to save this, and let's pull down the pick list value. Here is the option I want to give the start available time. So uh, restaurant timings, rest start time. So this is the general hours. Okay, every day starts at 10 a.m. Okay, you can keep the values like this. 100 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, 1 to 12. Okay, and click on save, and I have to put on the PM also, AM PM. Let's do one thing. Start. Okay, let's click on edit. See, if I want to view this in a separate page, I can view like this. View field in the new window. I can click on this. I can see all the field values here. Click on edit. Um, this is option for editing. Let's click on printable view to see all the fields. Let's do one thing. Let's click new field, new values, like 13 hours, 14. Or we can give one more option. What you can do is you can keep these values like 1 to 12 and give one more option called AM PM like this. Okay. 17, 18. Means when you want to give the AM PM, you have to first create the start time 1 to 12 values. Okay, and AM PM, and again end time also I have to give 1 to 12 and AM PM option. There are 4 fields now, but if I give 1 to 24, I can have only 2 fields for start time and end time. and finally 00. Click on save. This is midnight. Okay, now if you click on see the list of values, if I click on, yeah, the same values I want to add further and it also. Click on printable view, copy all the values what you have added here and go to schema builder. Click on one more pick list value for restaurant and date, end time, sorry, restaurant end time. The all values I have added here. Click on save. It's done. Two things are there. With pick list values I have done this, and pick list multi pick list values. Okay, here to see whether this is a veg restaurant or non-veg restaurant, I am just pulling the values here like this. Multi-select. Normal. Okay, or else I can give the multi-select pick list like restaurant features or types. Okay, food type served. Okay, food type served here. Okay, I can put like Italian, some Indian, American, Chinese, um, Mexican. Let's click on show values, three values, because at the same time I can see only three values. Yeah, I can select even five also to show five values at the same time, or other. Okay, other. Click on save. Now I have a multi-select pick list values because some restaurant can serve multiple items, Indian plus Chinese stuff. That's the reason I have given multi-select option where I can person can select more than one also, two, three, four options at the same time. Okay, and text format. So I can give some description about this restaurant in a simple or restaurant owner name. Okay, STAU restaurant owner name 50, length is 50 for this field text value. I can give the length because if you think that the text value will be becoming more than 100, you give 150. If it is, you can think that it is less, it should not be later greater than 50 because the names most of the times it won't be more than 50 letters. I am giving 50 as the maximum length because you have to think about the in the worst situation where some people might have 50 length first names also. Okay, and test encryption. So here I don't need this field. Okay, um, test encryption is useful for storing the passwords or some important social security number, or I can pull down this for storing the tax number for this. Okay, um, tax number, because each and every restaurant has to pay taxes. That's the reason I'm showing tax number in a 9-digit thing. And the mask type is mask all characters with this character called star. Click on save. Now this character is non-character thing which will be stored in star format. I won't be showing this character to the people who are using my system because so this is the end user application. If I'm showing all the restaurant things, if I'm making this as publicly visible, My administrator can steal this code and he can give to other people. That is the reason even the administrator also cannot see this code, the encrypted code. Okay, this is only for storing the purpose. Even administrator myself also cannot see the value which you have entered, which the people has entered into the restaurant object. Now let's go to the text area. Text area is like a big field. You can think like a description field. Description. Okay, description about the restaurant. Okay, click on save. And long text area, so this is useful for again description, which will be having length up to 36,000 something like this. Okay, I don't want to use this here. See if you I can the thing is, it's there's no options here. Simply putting down the field name is enough. And the visible lines, what is visible lines? If you means yeah, the text box is not like a simple single line text box. It will be big text box. Let's do one thing. um, a restaurant description not okay. Restaurant information. Okay, restaurant info. I'm creating a big field. Visibility lines is 3 lines. Okay, click on save. And now I have created even the long text video also, and even rich text area also. Menu, for storing the menu of the restaurant, I want to use the menu. Okay, click on save. I want to modify this field. I don't want to keep 25 fields as the visibility thing because it's too big. Where is menu option here? Yeah, here is the thing. Make 5 lines as menu. Click on save. At least 10 lines should be there for large rich text thing, because you are showing some images and rich text thing there. And finally, I'm capturing the URL also of a restaurant with a website. Okay, to track their website if they have, otherwise no. Click on save. Now my restaurant object is created. Now if I want to go to this object, just click on this arrow mark, click on view object. If I click on view object, I can see the same thing what I have done from here also. This is the same thing. This is the tool for doing the creation of objects and storing this. Now my restaurant object is having restaurant fields like this, with all the fields required for us to store. And now I have to configure the page layout. What is page layout? If you see, I have just only created 2 fields from this option, and I have only 2 fields. Now let's go to, first of all, I'm going to create the object tab. Before that, I'm going to get the application. How to do that? Click on this. Warehouse. Last time I have created some application which don't have any tabs also. I want to modify it. So I want to rename this, delete this vehicle parts manufacturer application, because there is a less limit for us, because I have already done this. Now create new app, restaurant um restaurant restaurant review application, restaurant reviews. So if you see my application, I have a restaurant object to store all the restaurants in the cities or any across the globe, and I have my customers. Now what I will do is I will take the reviews of all the people and I will store in the system, and I will show to the external people, so that those who are traveling to this region can track, can see what is the reviews of this, and they can go in the same way with this restaurant review. This is application is restaurant review app. Click on say next. Mm, So let's use this logo. Make sure when you are putting some logos, it should be less than 10 19 KB. This is fine for us. And let's go back to the documents, because as I said you, for what all the things what you are going to add as a logo, you should be uploaded to the documents. Come here. So where's documents? Oh my god. Yeah, here is the docs. Someone has renamed this to docs. Okay, because I can even in Salesforce, if you don't like the name of accounts, if you want to name this as customers, generally customers, clients, accounts are similar names. Okay, some people want it as clients, some people want it as customers. You can do it like, you can do the name changes like anything. I'll show the option how to do this. Click on new option. In the public folder, I'm going to save this public folder. I'm going to save this logo called foodie, externally available image, to make this as a application logo. And I'm choosing this file which is loaded into my system on the desktop. Click on save, and now come back to your application, insert image. Now select the public folder. There is a foodie. Okay, click on select, have the logo here, click on next, and what all objects you want you can add here. There is a foodies object. Restaurant object is not yet created, have to create that. Okay, click on save. Now if you go to my visible to all users, this is the application settings. I'm making this app visible to all users, and clicking on save. Yeah, I'm done. Now I have the foodie application ready. Oh, restaurant review application ready. It's here. Now I can select this restaurant review app. So this is how you're going to create the app you just created in a single 3-step process. Okay, and after that there is no tab for restaurants. For that you have to click on these tabs, click on new. So for those, all the objects what you are creating from the schema builder, you're going to create tabs from here. Okay, select the tab called restaurant. Sorry, not restaurant, sorry. Here's the restaurant, and select some image for that. So I've selected some logo with house name, which is like a bank. Okay, don't, you can put anything, that's not a big deal. I click on next. I can put some description also here. Restaurant review app tab. Okay, I can give any description like this for simple understanding for ourselves. And I'm making the default on for all the users in the system. Okay, default on, it's available for all users, and I'm going to make this available only for the rest. Here is the important step here. We are going to see that this tab will be seen only in this application called restaurant review. If you are marking this only this app, this is only available to this. But if I'm selecting to include app to all, if I'm selecting this option, it will be selected to all. In this case, this tab will be available in all the applications, sales app, marketing app, every app. That's not a good thing, right? Because your restaurant tab is specific to restaurant application. I want to add only in this. That's the reason I am adding only this checkbox. This tab, restaurant tab, is only applied to restaurant review application only. Click on save. You are done with the tab creation now. Simple steps, 3 steps. Now let's see. This is our restaurant application, and you see the foodies and restaurants. Who are foodies? The people who took login from you. Okay, they're gonna browse restaurants in your portal. When they are traveling, they will come to your application and they will say, hey, I'm looking for Italian food. What you do is you will show all the Italian restaurants and in that region to the customer, to the person who is searching this. He can have some food there, and he can give some reviews or ratings to it. Okay, this is the database for restaurant. This is the database for customers. Again, I want to track. I can even track the interests of the foodie also. What are interests of foodie? For suppose, if you are interested in Mexican food, I can put the interests, all the interests of mine, Indian food, Italian food, all this stuff. And whenever he's searching for that type of restaurants, I'm gonna show the restaurants of same type of Italian or Indian. I can even do this. Okay, let's click on restaurants and click on new. See what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing only restaurant name, which is a required field, and latitude, longitude fields of location, local market share, and email field. If you see, these two fields I have created from these two fields I have created from these three. So this is one field only. This is other field. These two fields I have created from the application view. I have not added into page. I have added into page layouts after creation. If you come to email field, I have created in Schema Builder only, but as it is a required field, it automatically added to the page layout. What about the other fields which I have done from Schema Builder? It's not added here. For that, you have to go to page layout. See, here is the quick setup menu. I can click on edit page layout of this. This is one option. Other option is come here, click on this view page layout. If I am clicking on view page layout, I can see the page layout of the restaurant tab. This is the restaurant custom object in the backend for us, which are visible for the developers and administrators. Okay. If you scroll down, see here is the option also page layout. There is only one page layout here. I can click on this. I can click on edit. Each and every object will have at least one page layout. You can create n number of page layout. Okay. Come down. Here is the same thing. You can see the same thing here also. Okay. Click on edit. This is the simple, easy drag and drop widget for setting the user interface. For suppose if you are developing a Java application, what you do, you have to write your JSP page for what are the things what you have to do in the front end part. In the view part, you have to write the form tags, each and everything you have to write. And the form tag, you have to write all the input text box, all this stuff, right? Here, this is really simple. Let's do alignment like this. AC or non-AC restaurant. Description. And establish date on the food type served, keeping on the right side. And the menu I'll keep at the bottom. Phone number, restaurant owner name, restaurant start date and end date. I'll keep it start date here. Restaurant name I have already added, right? Tax number, website I will add here. End date I will add here. Okay. Started and end date add here. Tax number I have to add now. Oh, sorry. Tax number. restaurant revenue per month, because if you see, based on the revenue only the tax will be there. That's the reason I'm adding the tax number next to it. And restaurant info, tax number is not required for us, but we are just storing. No one will give the tax number to you, right? I'm just keeping it for showing you how to create the uh, test encrypted values. And restaurant menu also at the bottom. Now I'm clicking on save this, save. So what happens? Let's go to your restaurant tab, restaurant application, restaurant review. Okay. Yeah, restaurant review app is selected. Click on restaurant tab, click on new. What happens? I see all the fields which I have given there. See, fine. My geolocation, restaurant name, what you can give like Swagat. It's not required field. I can pull down the latitude longitude to the bottom by editing the page layout. Okay, click on edit, because I don't want to see the latitude longitude at the starting. I am keeping the location stuff at the bottom. Food types out also at the bottom. Okay. No. Now you can see those changes. Clicking on quick save. Okay. Now I'm going back to my restaurant tab and I'm clicking on refresh. Now I see the new layout. See how fast it is. Market share is here. Restaurant name, so GATH. Market share 30%. And email address at gmail.com. My phone, the phone number of the restaurant I can give like this. Restaurant owner name. It's not required field because you can leave this off also. Start time morning 10, because this is having 24-hour time. As I already said to you, I can even give two fields like start date, start 1 to 12, and AM or PM. That's the reason I can trim there are 24 values now here in this. I can trim the values to morning 11 AM it will start, 10 AM it will start. The end time is evening 22, means 10 PM. Latitude longitude I can give some addresses like this. I'm just giving bad values. Okay. And revenue per month. Okay, I'm giving like this. And restaurant info I can write some info like info. I can write up to 255 characters. And sorry, I can write up to 36,000 characters here. The description field I can write about 250 characters, 255. Easy restaurant, I'm checking this option. Select your date. I can write the date also, but I can even select the established date. So I don't see the old dates here. For that I have to write the custom jQuery thing. I can show how to do that in the next class, in the coming classes. Let's think that it started today. And website some .com. Restaurant end date is okay, and it I can this is gonna serve all these fields. Okay, Italian, Indian, and American foods. tax number, some digits. Okay, and menu. I can even put down my menu images directly here by clicking on this import. I can put down my restaurant menu here. Let's show something. Okay, this for suppose think this is a menu. Click on insert and click on save. This will be loading, uploading. Image exceeds the size limit of 1 MB because this can store up to 1 MB, but my image is too big. But now I am selecting some other image which is really simple. Click on insert. Yeah, I can put on my menus here which are less than 1 MB size, because 1 MB, that image which I have word is really big. Click on save. The record will be saved now. Okay, see, my restaurant record is saved with the tax number as encrypted text. Each and everything information what all we have given in the same thing. And the food type served, right, if you can see, the values are separated by this colon. Okay, a double colon, right, three values with separated values, and the revenue per month, latitude, longitude, everything like this, and the menu also here. And so now I'm going to build a relationship. Here is the foodies app, right? Here if you see, there is no fields in this. In foodie application, the person who is a customer for us means foodie means who is looking for a restaurant or who is interested to take a food. This guy, from here I can track about his interests, his location, because if you are traveling on trip, I need to track your dynamic location so that I can track you. I can immediately show your restaurants nearby based on your interests. Okay, I can do that by this, um, by tracking all your fields, all your interests. And after having some food in the restaurant, you can give some ratings stuff. Okay, that's how I can build one more object, a lookup relationship. um, so people, customers can give only reviews after having the food at that place, right? Means after checking in at that place. Now I'm going to create one more. Let's create simple fields in the foodie object, and let's go to this. So search for foodie here. If you want to get the object what you have created in the backend, if you want to see in schema builder, just search here. It's here. Now foodie object I've pulled down into my schema builder. Now I'm going to create some fields from this. What all fields you need? I want the phone number, email of the customer also. Email and phone. Click on save. And interests. Okay, I'm going to give a multiplicity value for that because people have multiple interests. It Again, I can even give their vegetarian and non-vegetarian in a separate field. American. um, Okay, and other, I'm giving other option. Okay, clicking on save, and the new thing what I'm going to create, current location of this user. I can even put down the address fields for restaurant also. I've forgotten to do that. Let's pull down the location field here, which is not available here. Oh, I think that field is not available here. That's a beta field, beta version. The geolocation is a beta, and beta still in beta version. It's not yet released, means completely. So search for foodie. Hit here. Go to this object. Click on new field. See the fields have shown here. The new fields which I've created here. Select the location. Whenever he is traveling, we're gonna track his location. We are gonna show the restaurants nearby this guy based on the interest what he have selected. Location decimal values. Select this decimal values as 7 precise values. Click on save. Visible to all users. Click on next. Add to page layout. When you are creating objects, visible to all users is the option, one option. Next option is which profile, visible to all users, which profile user should access this, and the second option is to which application you have to add. But here available to which users is the first option. Second option is whether to add to page layout or not. Okay, this is the other option. Okay, fields, it will ask you whether to add to page layout or not. Objects, it will ask you whether we need to add to the apps or not. Click on save. This is getting added. And now let's go to the foodie object. Before going to foodie object, I have to modify the page layout also to add the new fields which I have created from my schema builder. Interests, phone number, and their email field also, right? And click on quick save. Let's go to foodie, click on refresh. Now I see all the new values here, and I want to modify the foodie location at to the bottom, so that the location fields I can see at the bottom. Click on quick save. Quick save means this is saved to the database. These changes are saved to the database, but it's still in the same page. Refresh now. See, now this is the foodie. I can give Venkat. I can select multiple values because I am interested in these foods. Okay, and click on okay location. Latitude, longitude or this. Whenever I'm searching for restaurants, it will show the nearby restaurants to me at some radius. Okay, and these are my interests. Now this guy can search for restaurants. I have to give. See, whenever we are building application, we have to give. We have to think of all the possibilities of the application, and you have to add all these fields. Interest, it can be many things also, but currently I've had only 6 to 7 values, 5 to 6 values. But you can add a number of values in this. And as I know only some values, I can select only these 3 values. But other guy who is Chinese guy can add 10 values also from East Asian region. Okay. So let's do one more thing. In schema builder, I'm just going to check-ins. I'm going to create one more object between these two objects because this guy can take food from a number of restaurants in his lifetime, but each restaurants can have a number of foodies at the same time also, right? In the restaurant lifetime, This restaurant can serve millions of foodies. Means there should be many-to-many relationship between these two. Now I am going to create one more object called check-in object. Come here, pull down this, check-in. Reports allow activities, allow track history. Everything I am calculating here because this is important object for us. Check-in. Now I am going to give the auto number field. Check-in auto number and IN. See, there can be millions of check-ins, right? Okay, I'm going to give the number as 1, start number, click on save. So still I want to change the name of this check-in name to check-in ID because this is auto number, right? Edit object properties. By clicking on this I can change this check-in ID. Yeah, now this is done. Yeah, check-in ID is there. Now I'm going to build the relationship here. How to build relationships from here? Now if you go to the custom objects, click on objects, go to check-in. See, check-in object is here. Now click on this. If you click on new fields, I can even build relationship from here also by keeping lookup and master data relationship. Okay. See, the information about this special is clearly mentioned here. And now what I'm doing is here, I'm going to do this stuff from my schema builder because this is really easy to do and really fast to do. Okay. I'm going to create two master detail fields. One is to restaurant. Res T A U R A N T. Click on R, restaurant, click on R. What happened to restaurant? Yeah, it's here. And click on save. So here are some options. I will explain you in the coming classes about when I'm explaining about the relationships clearly because that's a special difference between lookup and master data relationship. Again, pulling one more master data relationship to foodie also. There's only one foodie object starting with F. Click on save. Now we have two relationships. As both are empty relationship which is required, it automatically required fields. It automatically adds to the page layout. There's no need to do any page layout changes. Okay. But when I want to add some custom fields called reviews, okay, review, I can put on some stars or pick list values, a pick list value or a percentage value, satisfied satisfaction score, satisfaction percentage. I'm giving as 3 2. Click on save. Okay. And a review, I can even put down some review by pulling the text values here, or I can pull down the big text area field because I can write the big review also. A review and even check-in also, and tips also. I can give some simple tips also. Tips for the future customers, because I'm going to store the tips, okay, which is given by him for the future customers, because please eat this, please eat that type of thing, okay. Now we are done with this, and we have to go to the page layout, view page layout. It will take to the same object, and click on edit, and I have to add the CSAT score, customers thing, stuff, everything, okay. So here is the satisfaction score. I'm going to pull this to the right side, and tips, and review also, okay. Click on quick save and go to the footage object, okay. Now I have to add a tab also for this, right. Now go back to tabs. So let's do one thing. Let's get a new tab for this guy. Check in. Default on for all the people, and available only to the restaurant app. Click on save. Now I'm done with this stuff. I got ready. My application, my restaurant review app has foodies, restaurants, all these check-ins. Click on check-in. I have only one customer now. That's Venkat. Select this person. Only one restaurant. Select Swagat. Satisfaction score 80%. Tips. Um, Wraps are good. This is a tip to the future people, and I can put some review here, some place, okay. Click on save. Now I do have a check-in thing here. So with the check-in, I do have mapped one restaurant to one foodie. Means this guy has had the food here at this restaurant called Swagat, and his satisfaction score is this, okay. And this is shown to the future users also, saying okay, this many people have given this much score, all this stuff for the people references, okay. And here's the restaurant tab. If you can click on this, for suppose if you want to see all the customers who have reached this restaurant, what you can do is, now I have to add the page layouts, modify the page layouts, and add the list items to this page layout. Click on edit layout and go to list items, okay. If we come to list items, I can see the restaurant history is there. I have to add this, what happened to the restaurant, okay. And check-in object history is there. Continue deleted approval history, okay. Now on the check-in history, I want to put down the important information like check-in ID. I don't need. Check-in date I want. um Check-in review also I want. check-in satisfaction score I want. Sent connection name. Check-in tips also I want. And the person who ate here, okay, who gave this review also I want. Okay, that's what I need. Okay, I am going to show these guys, the person, the foodie name also, and what he gave, what the review he gave here. Okay, what are the tips he gave here, everything like this, and everything should be on descending order or ascending order. Descending order is fine because we can see the latest review on the top. Click on save. See, that's how it will work. And click on save, quick save. Yes, now going back to the going back to the other object, I want to modify the foodie layout also by in the same way. I want to add which all the restaurants this person has gone to. Okay, let's pull down the check-in thing. I have to refresh this because I don't see the check-in option here because this is not refreshed properly. If you can see check-in option now, pull down to here, set the settings. I want to show check-in which date this person has check-in. I don't want to give the check-in ID to each and every person. This is the backend ID. I can store it like this. And check-in review what this guy have gave and how much satisfaction score he is, and the tips what he gave, and even the restaurant name also I can give. Restaurant, yeah, restaurant name is here, and so yeah, that's it. And click on quick save. Yes, now go back to your application. Your application is ready. Click on refresh. Now if you go to the restaurant, so I'm clicking on this, I can see when I'm clicking on Swagat, I can see how many people have gave this thing, how many people have gave this review, and what did he have given, what is the percentage of satisfaction score, what is the review what the person has gave, what is the tip what the person has gave, and what is the person who is the person who gave that review or tip. Okay, I can store this like this. If there are 1,000 check-ins, 1,000 records will be there. Okay, I can see each and everything I can see in a single page. I can more than 5. I have to navigate here by clicking on next, 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 next like this. Okay, that's for single view of this. Let's go with the foodie thing. If I'm clicking on foodie name, I'm going to the foodie record where I can see the check-in, where this person has had the food, at which restaurant, and what is the tip he have given. For suppose he has gone to some Italian restaurant. Click on new check-in because there's no records in my thing because there's only one restaurant which I've mapped here. Okay, you can try this application from your side. Restaurant menu, create some restaurants, create some foodies, map some food, how the data is getting created, how the views are there on the restaurant page, on the restaurant view screen. So whenever you're clicking on new, that's called edit mode means the person has to do some entering part. You have to enter some data. Whenever you are clicking on a record which is existing already there, that's called view record. View record means you are seeing the detail page of the person of the record which is already created, where you are going to see the data. For suppose if I am clicking on new, okay, MACD, okay, I'm clicking on save, and now MACD record is created. This is the detail page, and the previous screen is called edit page. Okay, this is the detail screen. The previous thing is called edit screen. Okay, so now you can get one more check-in. Venkat has check-in with the MACD restaurant. I can see the review here. Okay, click on check-in. MD is the restaurant name. I just okay. Click on new. Select this. One second, my charging is getting drained. Okay. Clicking on save. Now I have one more record. One second. Now go to the foodie page. I have two check-ins on this page. Yeah, I'm right back. Yeah, there are two check-ins here, and if you go to the make this guy, I can have one record under him saying this person has given the bad review. Strips are good, but burger is bad. 45% satisfaction, something like this. Okay, and you can store. So now the simple app is ready, and you can grow this app really bigger. For suppose I have to make a restaurant search screen for you guys, right? Because the foodie has to search for restaurants based on their settings also. Instead of geolocation settings, if you want to do some custom search, I can have to create some separate page for that. Okay. I have to give some simple search and advanced search options. I can also do this. So when we are trying to build the type of pages, we have to do with Apex and VF pages. That's our later part of our training session. So first of all, we have to finish all our administration and customization part. So now let's do one thing. Let's create the roll-up summary fields on the restaurant object, or on the restaurant object. So if you want to go to the restaurant object, if you're on the record, you can simply go to the object by clicking on here, go to view fields. This will take to the current object backend fields. Okay, now I am in the backend custom object. So this is the front end of your restaurant object. Okay, this is the backend of your restaurant object. It's taken to the fields. Here is the fields. Clicking on new. Okay, and now I'm selecting the roll-up summary field. Click on next. So first of all, I am giving a number of check-ins. Total check-ins. Total check-ins from this app. Okay. This is the description of this, because there can be a number of check-ins. Some people will directly come to the restaurant without using this application, so which we are not going to track this. Okay, the people who are coming to this application, to this restaurant from this app, we are going to check. Click on next, and I want to track with code on the check-in object. See, from this restaurant object, on what object I am going to track on the this. There's only one child object. The roll-up summary fields are only enabled when there is a master data relationship from child object to parent object. For any object, roll summary fields are only enabled on the parent object in a master data relationship. That's the exact definition. Roll-up summary fields are only enabled. You can only create roll-up summary fields in the parent object in a master data relationship. If you got it. So there is a master data relationship, two master data relationships coming from check-in. One is to restaurant, one is to foodie. Now I'm getting this roll summary field in the restaurant object, which is master to check-in. Okay, got it. If you want to see the view of this, see, here is the view. I'm keeping the master objects on the top and the child objects in the bottom. In this scenario, this is a child object, this is a master object, and this is also the master object. One child, two masters. Okay, a relationship. If the arrow is starting from here, means this is a child object, and if it is in the red color, this is the empty relationship. If you see here, this is a child object, but the relationship is lookup relationship, and this is going to some this is going to training object. Here training is the parent object, this is the child object. Okay, now you can only create so for suppose think, if these three are objects, if these four are objects, from what all objects you can create row up summary fields. Can someone tell this answer now? I have given some definition to you just now, simple definition. From which all objects you can create master detailed roll up summary fields? A restaurant object, check-in object, foodie object, or participant domain. These are four options. Can someone tell from which objects you can select two options? You can create roll up summary fields. I'm giving the definition one more time. You can only create roll up summary fields on the parent object in a master detailed relationship. So it's really
Yeah,
simple.
restaurant and foodie can have this roll up summary fields highlighted out there.
Exactly, that's perfect. It's really simple, because here these are two only. There are two parents only, right? And this is a child object. This is also child object. And again, this is one way you can say that these two are objects are. You can create this. And one more option is in these three relationships. These are only two empty relationships. And again, these two are parents. That's where you can create roll summary fields only in restaurant and only in foodie. So these questions you can, most of the people will ask in interviews when they're talking about the relationships and the basic relationships and fields. We have already started creating the roll-up summary field on the restaurant object. Let's do the next step. So when you are creating the roll-up summary field, you have to summarize on a one child object. There can be n number of child objects for restaurant, because n number of objects can related to this restaurant object, but currently there is only one object related to restaurant, that is check-in object, which is child object for restaurant, right? So when you are going to summarize, if there are 40 objects related to restaurant as child objects, I can see all these values here which are related with master data relationship. But here there's only one object, check-in. That is the reason I don't have any option. That's the reason I'm just selecting check-in object here. Summarizer object will be the child object of the current object, restaurant object. So now I can select this count or sum or max or any value of this. Okay. For suppose max satisfaction score, or else okay, maximum satisfaction score of, yeah, satisfaction score. Click on next. Visible to all users. Click on next and click on save. Now what will happen? First, I am just having the maximum. Oh, sorry, I have done some bad thing because my name is not matching with the thing what I have done there. Total check-ins. Click on edit. Total check-ins is I just want to simply count it. Okay, I don't want to do any other calculation. Click on save. And click on new. Let's do the same thing from our restaurants from here. Pull down the roll-up summary field, which is not here, which is here. Now I'm putting maximum satisfaction score. Max satisfaction score in check-in object, summarizer object, and I'm putting the max value on the aggregated value satisfaction score. Click on save. And even I'm pulling the minimum satisfaction score also. Hey, in the meantime, can you guys create some foodie records? Okay, can you guys create foodie records and create check-ins with Swagat restaurant? So each and every person create one record on your name and make a check-in record. A child object, there is a new check-in, right? Click on new check-in and map that check-in with the Swagat record, right? Cool. Yeah. This is the correct answer. Sai also gave the correct answer here. So in the meantime, create foodie records from your mission. Go to the app first, restaurant review app. Click on foodie tab. What is the thing which I created earlier? Minimum satisfaction score or percentage? On some other object is check-in and keeping as minimum. And select the satisfaction score, click on save. And now I do have is the restaurant detail page, right? Click on refresh. Now I have to add the roll-up summary fields. Out of 3 roll-up summary fields, one field I have created from my backend thing. 2 things I have created from 2 fields created from Schema builder. That's the reason I have to add the other 2 fields, because it's not added. It's here. Total check-ins added. These 2 are not added. Again, I'll show you one simple thing here. Sections. What are sections in VF in page layouts? Sections are useful for categorizing the things, grouping the fields. Okay, I'm creating a separate section called um, satisfaction scores, reviews, aggregation, review aggregation. Okay, review aggregation is the section name which is available in both detail page and the edit page. Here is the option for that. If I'm removing in the edit page, it won't be shown at all in the edit page, but I'm giving in the access in the both the settings. You can select and select here. This is a two page layout. What is one column and two column? So the thing what you are seeing here is a two column. If I'm keeping one column, if you're pulling a record and dropping here, you're gonna see only one record, so one field in a row. Here there are two rows, right? There will be only one row. Let's do one column thing. Click on OK. This is the field aggregation. Now I'm pulling down total check-ins, max score, minimum score, and click on quick save. Now go to the restaurant object. So I think you guys have created some foodies object. Am I good at that? All click on go. Yeah, some more. I need some more records. Let's do one thing. Let's go to Saicon. Okay, he created one check-in with P Chong. Let's do and we have not given any satisfaction score because this is a required field for us, right? We are doing calculation on this. Click on edit, click on satisfaction score as 80, click on save, and after save I am clicking on clone. One more time he's going to the same place. Oh sorry, foodie. No, go back, go click on check-in, checking this, click on edit. If you click or go to check-ins, this is done by Saikant, and click on clone. Second time he's going also. Second time he's going to the same restaurant. He's giving satisfaction score as 40. Okay. And one more check-in I'm going to create. Click on new. Venkat is going to the P Chang restaurant, which is created by Saikant. Select this P Chang. So I am giving satisfaction score as 99%. Click on save. Now go to the P Chang restaurant. What happens? What is the expected values you see? So if you come down, there are three satisfaction scores. Two are by Sainath. First time he went, he gave 80%. Next time he gave 40% because sometimes something happened there. He is not satisfied with the food. Venkat gave 19%. Here there's a total three check-ins. This is getting derived from roll-up summary fields. Three check-ins of total check-ins. 19 is the maximum score given by this guy. There's no any mention who gave this score. I can even pull down that information by some SOQL query with coding. Here is the lowest score, 40 given by Saikant. That's how it will work. I think you guys are clear now on this roll-up summary fields. This is aggregation on child object records. For suppose if you want to check all the reviews for suppose after some time there can be 1 lakh foodies and 50,000 restaurants. 1 lakh foodies might have gone to one restaurant which is really famous, and you have to calculate total check-ins. That's really tough manually. Here is the automated field which automatically brings automated values. If there are 1 lakh check-ins, it will show 1 lakh check-ins. What is the average score? I can even get the average score also. What is the maximum score? What is the minimum score? All this stuff. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? Okay. So for today assignment is just try this application. Don't create any new fields on this application or on these objects. Just create data inside it. Okay, because there are two ways in the application thing, right? We are developers, we are going to do the backend stuff, but here today I'm giving you the end user job. What is end user job? Creating the foodies, restaurants, check-in stuff. When you are accessing the front end, this is the front end of our application. You are creating some data here, right? New, or you're getting new restaurants, you are building the linking with the check-ins, you're checking in as a customer. Okay, you're going to deal with this as a front end user today. You just create some records in foodies and create some restaurants and try linking these check-ins, like checking and reviewing this uh, restaurants. Let's see what's happening there, how scores are working, all this stuff. How to create the data on fields, use how to use the pick list values, everything as end user. Later on, I will give some simple assignment in this by this weekend to you to work on the backend stuff also. That's also a really simple thing, but don't create now. Okay, if you want to try on your own, I asked you to create the free developer org in the earlier first class, right? Just go to the dark, try on your own new applications by creating from the backend from the setup menu. Cool. I'm closing the class for today. Do you guys have any questions?